Hey, what is going on, guys? Skullhead here, and today we're back with a Black Ops Cold War Zombies video, and I'm super excited to do this video. I'm excited as we approach 9 days until Black Ops Cold War Zombies. I'm excited. I'm really excited for this game, excited for the features that this game is going to be bringing, and that's what I'm going to be talking about today, is the features of Black Ops Cold War Zombies and the things that will make Black Ops Cold War Zombies succeed. The features that are gonna make Black Ops Cold War Zombies stand out and make you come back and keep playing and wanting to keep grinding this game, keep playing the high rounds, keep doing the Easter eggs more and more, coming back for the new maps. I want to go over the 5 things that I think are going to make this game succeed. Let's jump right in. I think, firstly, more than anything, everyone, the number one thing that was asked about when Black Ops Cold War Zombies was starting to be getting close to being revealed, even back whenever BO4 ended, everybody said at the end of BO4 we wanted the old perk system back, and they listened and they brought it back stronger than ever, but it's not the exact same, and I like that quite a lot. I am somebody who thinks that the game needs to be pushed forward by new animations, but also don't forget about the past. Don't forget about where you came from with the old Aether storyline. Don't forget about any of that. I think that seeing these old perks come back in a new way with new machines, new possibly new jingles for some of them, and then even just like as simple as using cans instead of perk bottles is just like super cool to distinguish them from the old system, but keeping it sort of the same with like Jug, Deadshot, Speed Cola, Stamina, and Quick Revive. I think bringing back those machines but changing them is great, and then you're going to be able to upgrade these perks on top of this, and they're going to be adding in new perks through the DLC season. We're going to see more perks than we did in BO3, and who knows if we'll be able to get more upgrades for these perks later on down in the DLC season. It could be huge. It could be amazing to finally see a perk system that is supported properly but doesn't feel overwhelming like BO4 did, where you couldn't use any of those perks. Half of those perks nobody used because there was just too many perks in the game. You had that 4 perk limit and it just ruined everything. Well, there's no more perk limit either, and I think that's quite a huge step for the Zombies franchise, and I honestly agree with it. As much as I like being able to earn perk slots and everything, I think if you're able to grind out this game, upgrade all your perks, and you're like a max level player, then you're gonna be a huge help for the noobs and everything. You're also gonna you're just gonna be sort of OP, and that's fun in Zombies, especially for high rounds. Probably with the heavy Zombies especially, there's gonna be some balance for how OP you are. I think this perk system is a great step forward for the Zombies mode, and I'm going to be saying that with a lot of things today. I think it is they're taking so many necessary steps that the mode needed to take back in BO4 and even a little bit in BO3. BO3 did not do much to push the envelope other than Gobblegums, and Gobblegums aren't that great of a system if we look back at now, because it's so broken and microtransaction heavy. My next feature quote unquote, because it's not exactly a feature, it's a bunch of features combined together, and I've already touched on it with the perk system, and that's going to be grindability. And this to me is the key to the success of Black Ops Cold War Zombies, and why Black Ops 3 nowadays is so boring to play for me, and why even BO4 is boring to play for me, because there's no incentive to play the game other than a grind for prestiges and maybe for Gobblegum and elixirs, but that stuff's either boring or it just doesn't work. It's really not fun. I think that old way of Zombies in general has gotten quite stale for the majority of players. I think the demographic back during BO3 was still a lot of the OG players were still playing and everything, and it was very much the end, I think, of that OG era, even though people like to say that it brought in a lot of new people, including myself. I started playing during BO3, but that BO3 era is truly the end of the old way of zombies. And I'm going to reiterate this all throughout this year. This is not going to be the old zombies you used to play whenever you were 10 years old, playing Kino with the lights on. No, this isn't it. This is a new mode, a new wave. This is a very different mode from what Treyarch showed us before, but unlike BO4, which was a very different mode itself, but took the pendulum and swung it the complete other way, away from the norm of zombies and away from all of our old features that we were used to. Instead, this is bringing it back to probably more in the middle. Like, you're gonna have some familiar things at the roots of this mode, but a lot of it is very fresh. A lot of it is very new takes on old ideas, or very new takes on old systems we used to have, and really trying to re-innovate the wheel. And I think that Treyarch has already said about the systems in this game, there's going to be a lot of content to grind. Treyarch has already said it, and like, you're going to be earning Ethereum crystals either through exfils or how high of a round you go. And you use these Ethereum crystals not only for upgrading your perks, but you're also using it to upgrade other skills, such as upgrading your ammo mods, upgrading your field upgrades, and even you might even be able to upgrade your custom loadouts. And I don't know how that's going to work or anything, but Treyarch said in their blog post that you can upgrade your weapon class and everything. But who knows what these skills mean? It could mean a bunch of different things. We get the game in 9 days, thankfully, so we'll know soon. But I think being able to upgrade all those things is gonna really make your experience very different from other people's. Like, you're gonna be running very different things than other people. You could be like, these skills could really change your game and really change it around. And I think that with all of these different systems, different things you can grind, if they add a prestige system along with the fact that every single weapon is going to have like 60 plus levels, or like 50 plus levels, sorry, there's going to be a lot to do. And then they're going to add new perks throughout the DLC season. And also, I would not be surprised if they added new perk upgrades for existing perks such as jug, speed, or stamina. I won't be surprised if like we see new field upgrades, and then you get a new perk skill or new skills to unlock for that, new alternate ammo types. Like, there's a lot of different things they could be doing to keep content flowing this year. But that leads perfectly into my next point, and that's free DLC and crossplay. Where do I even start? Like, we've never had free zombie maps before, let alone having crossplay. And truly, with the fact that all maps seem to be coming out at the same time too, that alone is groundbreaking. And then you add on it, the maps are free and you can play with your other friends on other consoles and or PC. We are already being very spoiled with this game, as the community should be. The community is taking this game for granted, I already think. I think this game is being very much taken for granted by the community and not appreciating the things that we are getting with this game. Even though MW did implement these systems, we've never seen this in the zombies mode. We've never seen also pinging in the zombies mode. Like, all these things are going to be very helpful for noobs too. And this game, as much as we don't want to talk about how noob friendly some games are, if there are a bunch of casuals coming in with this game mode, that is something we have not seen since BO3. BO4 had no casual fan base at all. It was all hardcore fans, because who fucking actually liked the mode other than hardcore fans that actually liked the game? BO4 was shite on all season long. And Treyarch is trying to come back and be like, hey, okay, here's free DLC, here's crossplay, stay with your friends, let's all play together, let's start pinging for your friends, you can ping out the box locations, you can just guide people along a lot better. And this game mode in general, I think, will appeal to a lot of Warzone players, because there's a lot of features that are coming from Warzone too. And just this DLC season, I don't think people are anticipating the numbers like I'm anticipating. I know that I'm some small-time YouTuber, but I'm already seeing the draw that this mode might have, and this could be one of the major pillars of Call of Duty going forward. Because think about how much of a resounding success Zombies Chronicles was. Whenever a zombie game bangs, it fucking bangs. Huge. And Black Ops 2 was huge for years because of Mob of the Dead and Origins. Whenever you have maps that are classics, people will keep playing those maps. And then whenever you add systems on top of that that are also very good, very solid, and make sense together, you have player retention and you have people coming back. And then you add in the new weapon and weapon systems. This is going into my next point. This is the first time since BO2 we are getting real life weaponry. The guns that actually exist in the real world and in the beta. I know not everyone will agree with this, but in the beta, the guns I thought felt really good and were very close to feeling what could be amazing. And especially in zombies, it will feel good to be using these guns, using an AK again, probably a FAMAS, probably you can use the 1911 if you wanted to as your starting weapon again. We also have a custom loadout feature for, I get it, a lot of y'all want the 1911 to be your starting weapon. Pick that. That's a part of your loadout. That's what you want to go in with. Play it the traditional way you want to play it. But for casual fans and people like me who think that the early round progression from round maybe 1 to 10 feels stale and the same every single, this alone already offers a ton of opportunity. Spawn in with an MP5 fully decked out, but it's gonna be common. Past probably about round 7, it's probably gonna be not that great, but that gets your early round progression going quicker. You don't have to spend those points on getting a weapon. Instead, you can get straight to power right away, and you don't have a Zetsubo on your hands. You don't have yourself running around all game trying to build points while also trying to find a weapon that works. And I think the fact that there's going to be a weapon rarity system is going to make this starting weapon system, this custom loadout system, work a lot better, because then you just trade up into the box or off the wall and you get probably a lot better weapon off the wall or out of the box. Even like a green weapon will be better than your common terrible weapon you spawn in with. This weapon rarity system with all the different attachments you're going to be getting, every single time you get a weapon, even if it's the same rarity, I bet you it's going to be different. I bet you it's going to be different attachments, different sights, different. You could be getting a ton of different versions because of all the different ways you can make a gun feel with Gunsmith. And this is huge for zombies. People aren't talking about this enough. You can have 8 attachments on a gold weapon. That's never been seen in zombies before. And those 8 attachments, 100%, it will make a difference. Plus the 300% damage increase that a gold weapon has over a regular gray weapon. These weapon systems actually adding some choice to the wall weapons, adding some, I want to go hit the box. It's getting later in rounds. There's a system that they've put in place where as the rounds go up, your weapons get better, or your weapons that you get out of the box will be a higher rarity. So there is a lot less like risk to hitting the box, I guess, because like any gun can end up being really good, but at the same time you're also going to have a lot of different variety of weapons and a lot of different variety of the weapon that one weapon that you may like the most. And I think this is a choice, and especially getting rid of that round 1 to 10 progression system with your 19 and 11, buying a bunch of wall weapons around the map until you just barely got enough points to open up the whole map. Bypassing that whole system will be, for me, and I know a couple of my friends, is going to be a big thing. It's going to be a big thing to be able to get past that early round slow progression. On a map like Zetsubo, it would be huge where you're opening up to your challenges right away. You could get the skull done super quickly, and I think it's going to be a really great system that people just shit on because it's different. Lastly, we got one final point, and I know majority of y'all probably know what this is, and that's the story. The story at its heart, in my opinion, as someone who will be focusing heavily on story this year on this channel, to me is one of the most pivotal and at the center of zombies, is one of the biggest reasons that's going to keep me invested in the DLC season. You can have really good gameplay, really solid gameplay, But if that story falls through like Chaos did, especially falling flat at launch like it did, then we have an uh-oh on our hands, because the story is what keeps us invested. Those characters, Richtofen and like Nikolai, all of them kept us invested for so long just because they're such a familiar face. They're such a welcome character, and they're just so loved. If we get a story as big as I think this story really could be, because it is, Craig Houston is still writing this game. It is still the majority of his crew that is doing this. I think Aether being back, but it being a soft reboot, but still being tied to the old stuff, is the perfect way to go about it. And everybody feels that way. I know they do. Because Dark Aether, this story, any moment, that old Aether storyline, we could start seeing things like that. Like nothing. Like we can start seeing old things from the old story, such as like Monty or Shadow Man, but I've been hearing that they like could be combined together, because everything's been banished to the Dark Aether, so everything that comes out is apparently super demented and like mushed together and very almost Lovecraftian in a way, which goes back to the roots of Shadows of Evil. And that was the basis for our whole BO3 Apothecon Keeper storyline. And I fully think that we're going to be seeing some alien entity stuff. I think that this story is going to start out very slow, but we're going to hit the ground running by DLC 2 or 3 and fully start getting into the more out of this world stuff with the Dark Aether. These portals can only rift open for so long before they start really taking over this world, I think. And being able to take from that old storyline at any time is, I think, going to be the key to success of this story. Because as much as people love Aether and the old Aether story, it needs to sort of, like Primus, Ultimus, all that stuff needs to just be put to rest. But let's, with a singular universe, no multiverse or anything, let's bring out some of that complicatedness. Let's make sure that what Primus and all our crews went through isn't just forgotten, but instead plays a key role in this new universe. I think that Craig and his team are a bunch of geniuses too. They always have been. The writing team has always been next to phenomenal. Always. The one thing, no matter if their budget has been cut or anything, I've always been on board with the Treyarch writing team, just because their ideas are always so magnificent and they always try to push the boundaries of the story. And I think also being able to view all the storyline details with a new intel system, notes, radios, probably even main cutscenes, you'll be able to view from your main menu and be able to comprehend the story on a new level and really bring in casuals and start getting them invested in a story that they don't really probably know much about, but because it's not as needed to have that old Aether knowledge, sure, it may come in handy, but you don't have to know it. You can 100% jump in now and probably feel completely fine. Like, to use Samantha Maxis is just another person. So like, but still, the story is simple enough. I'm sure with D Machina will be more than simple enough for casuals to be able to jump in from the start and get invested before it really starts to ramp up towards probably the end of the season. And I think that at the root of Black Ops Cold War Zombies is going to be that casual community that any mode needs to survive. That anybody, any game, if it wants to survive, especially a mode like Zombies, where I think in the Activision executives' heads, it's on the chopping block if it doesn't do well this year. BO4 was such a massive disappointment. If the Zombies mode isn't executed to perfection, I don't think we will see another Zombies mode after this year. And that's why I think Treyarch knows that. We all know that. So why would they fail us? Why, whenever Treyarch has made from World at War to BO3 the best game series that we've ever seen, that we're gonna let one game, BO4, that's probably about a 7 out of 10, better than quite a few Call of Duties in my opinion, we're gonna let that taint our opinion of Treyarch and the whole Black Ops series in general. whenever the majority of these devs are still the same devs that we saw years ago with Black Ops 1 and World at War, why would they fail us? Studio really hasn't changed that much. It's not like Infinity Ward. The studio is very much at the core the old Treyarch that we know and love. Our new Zombies director is someone who's worked on Mob of the Dead, someone who's worked on Der Eisendrache and led Gorod Krovi, which is my favorite map. I do not see this game failing in any way. The more we get closer to the launch, the more confident day by day I am in this game. BO4 from the very start, I felt like it's gonna fail. This game, I am so sure of it, and I don't know what I'm gonna do if this game fails, because I am so sure of this game being good that I'm fully banking on it. But that's gonna be all for me today. A little bit of a ranty video, but I really enjoyed making it. I am so excited for this game and zombies and everything. I hope y'all enjoyed. Leave a like if you haven't already. Subscribe, please. It'd be very much appreciated. And if you want to hear more storyline takes, more story going forward, day one coverage of Black Ops Cold War Zombies, subscribe and follow my Twitter down below. And I'll see you in the next video.